Hey y'all, what's going on? It's your girl Tally back again on this beautiful Monday morning. I'm headed to work. I just want to talk to you guys real quick about us in a professional environment. And when I say us, I mean people who look like me. And when I say people who look like me, I mean a black woman. All right. And some of you may have felt this, some of you may not have, but this is a very real thing. And sometimes we need awareness or just someone else to speak on it, so it's validated, right? I mean, I'm not going to say there's not much we can do about this specific issue, because we definitely can, but it's more of an uphill battle, and it's more about you just having to just be yourself and just know who you are. And I don't want to say keep up appearances, but just be an example. Be yourself and be an example, and rise above it. And what I'm talking about specifically is just how the stereotypes of how a black woman is, how she's supposed to act, what she's supposed to be, how she's supposed to look like. I feel like it carries on. It probably carries on more, even like it definitely carries in the workplace, but I have a feeling that this carries on in other environments too. So if you're, let's say, a black woman, and let's say you don't really fit the stereotypical black woman. And when we say stereotypical, it's what they show on TV, what they show in the media, like the female rappers, what I'm saying, like highly sexualized, ghetto, colorful weave, colorful hair, same thing, long nails, jewelry, tatted up, twerking. Like, those are all the things that we're kind of portrayed as. And the problem is, some people actually think that's what all of us do and say and talk like and look like. And it does such a disservice to us, right? Because if you've been anywhere in the world, if you have expanded beyond your horizons, you meet enough people, and meeting enough people will show you and reveal to you that not everybody's the same. And whatever they show on the media about different types of people, it's not true for all. There's many things that are true, but there's many things that aren't true. And just having that stereotype for us as black women, I do feel like it hurts us. I do feel like it doesn't play to a positive role in us. It doesn't benefit us in any way. And I'm just seeing this now, especially when you're on the road and you're trying to do your best, and you're trying to be taken as a professional, taken as someone who can grow, someone who could develop, someone who is a leader, someone who's trustworthy. All these things that help one grow in certain environments, having those stereotypes out there about you, it's definitely a drawback. Because the first thing I see is, like, when you don't subscribe to those stereotypes, so you're more of a Michelle Obama than you are a Sexy Red, or you're more of a Condoleezza Rice, or you're more of a, I forget that other girl, Candace Owens. All right, because some of us are. I'm not saying I am, but some of us are. So if you're more Candace Owens than you are Glorilla or Megan Thee Stallion, sometimes you confuse people. Sometimes they don't understand you. Sometimes they feel like, who do you think you are? And that phrase, who do you think you are, I feel like it, just thinking about people saying that about me, that has held me back in itself for a very long time. And there's actually a certain phrase, I forgot that a phrase. It's a scientific or a psychological. I learned this somewhere in college. A psychological phrase, or a phrase in psychology, that it is a phrase for when someone allows the stereotypes to affect them and hold them back from from trying to achieve their full potential. It holds you back because you're thinking too much about what people may think or what people perceive you as because of all the stereotypes around you. So I could definitely see how that could hold someone back. But yes, at the same time, I see how it does play a part, you know, like they expect you to be some type of way, but when you're not, that throws them off, and that may cause some people to go into that who do you think you are and dislike you. They may even mistreat you because, hey, you're not going to make me the class clown. I'm not the mascot. I know what you see on TV. I know you see a whole bunch of twerking and shaking and entertaining, but I'm not here for your entertainment. And especially when you have a healthy self-esteem about yourself, y'all, I know I told y'all a lot. I always talk about self-esteem and how you have to build up that self-esteem. And one of the main reasons that has to be is because, like I said in my previous videos, people are not going to like you regardless. There's going to be people, or there's going to be a certain type of person. Because, you know, when we go through life, the people change, but there's like always like a type of person that you meet. Okay, some of you date in the same type of person. They're different people, but they're a different type of person. And then in high school, you know, there's different cliques and stuff like that. In the real world, it's kind of like this. It's kind of the same way, and it's just like the same type of person, the same type of people. Those people, if they never really gravitated towards you before, you're gonna have to come to a point where you accept that those kind of people will never gravitate towards you. They might never gravitate towards you, and you have to be okay with it. That's why it's important to have a healthy self-esteem, because you need to be able to combat the trials or the waves or the ups and downs of whether people like you or dislike you. It should make a difference. You have to get to the point where people praising you, people liking you, or people disliking you, it doesn't make a difference. And you're going to need that, because you're going to need to show up. You're going to need to be yourself regardless of what people think. You're going to need to be yourself regardless of what stereotypes are out there. You're still going to need to be all of you. And if you're in a professional environment, it has to be presented professionally, of course. And you're just going to have to show up and do you, regardless of how other people feel about you. But definitely as a Black woman, when you're not identifying with who they think you should identify with, and you're not dressing. This sweater is a little bit it's a little bit loud today. I ain't finna lie. I love this sweater so much. I bought it, never wore it. I have to wear it, whatever. All right, yeah, I do got a little loud tendencies about me, of course. But like I said, when you don't fit exactly what they think you're supposed to fit, you speak proper, you know, you're more of a proper speaker, you have a confidence about yourself, and it's not no false confidence. It's not a crazy confidence, but it's a leveled confidence. For me, it's a godlike confidence, because that's where my confidence comes from, you know. So when you have that about yourself, you dress professionally, you dress nice. When you have the full package that I spoke about, that is going to throw a lot of people off. It's gonna throw people off, and it's gonna push them, like, especially when you're Black, because Black people, they feel like, keep it real, when you're a Black person, a lot of people in this world, especially in this world, they just feel like you're supposed to be under them. They feel like you're supposed to be less than, and we could pretend like that's not a real thing in this world if we want to. I know everybody doesn't feel like that, but we can pretend like this is not a real issue. But the fact of the matter is, it is a real issue. There's a whole bunch of different stereotypes. There's a whole bunch of different groups. But being Black is one of those things that people might think that you're supposed to feel less than. You're supposed to cower. You're supposed to make yourself small because you're Black. Being a woman is part of that too. So imagine being both those things, a double whammy. That's a double whammy. So and it could be, and there's other things past being Black and a woman, of course, that, you know, people think that you you should lower yourself or you should make yourself small in order to fit in. And if that's not you, if that's not the case, and this is not what I speak about, if you listen to any of my videos, we don't do that. We don't shrink ourselves to make people feel better anymore. If that's something we used to do in the past, that's something that we're moving past. That's something that we don't do no more. If we used to be this, we used to be that, we used to have low self-esteem, it's not. But I'm here to tell you, a part of you growing into yourself, or growing into your self-esteem, it's understanding that, listen, a lot still may not work out. A lot things that are not supposed to work out for you, they still won't work out for you. People who are not for you, they still won't be for you. But at the end of the day, growing into yourself, growing into your self-esteem, it was never about other people. It was about you being the whole you, unapologetically, and being able to love you the way you are and show up the way you show up in this world, point blank, period. That's what it's always been about. So it doesn't matter what the issue is. It doesn't matter what's out there. It doesn't matter what people say, do, think. You showing up as you. But them stereotypes, the way to really think about those is really like, hey, they're there. Nothing we could really do about it. We just have to continue to show the other side, so they see one side, but then it's up to you to be that example in that environment and show them, listen, not everybody's like this. And when you do that, you do open the door for another person, the person coming behind you, to be treated even better. When you hold yourself accountable and you hold yourself to a certain standard, now you're opening the doors for others to come after you, and they don't have to be so heavily enthralled in those stereotype struggles and stuff. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. This is kind of like a little bit of a vent too, because hey, it is what it is. Some people could be going through the same exact thing, y'all. So yeah, that's what it is. I'll talk to y'all soon though.